You hear it? Very strange. Welcome to another long-awaited episode of Tube Amp Theta! So is your Peavey Classic 30 amplifier humming and not because it's happy? Maybe it's full of a bunch of leaky caps. Let me show you how to fix that. Well, here we go. Let's take a listen to this Classic 30. Determine what the symptoms are. So it's powered up. Got the volume all the way down. Right off the bat, we've got hum. More than likely some bad filter caps. But the complaint was he was hearing a lot of crackling. So I'm guessing we also have maybe a microphonic tube. I'll let it cook. We'll cut back. So as soon as I hit standby, here came the noise. Of course. So hear it? Very strange. Whoop. I think it's this tube. Okay. So it's time to open it up. We'll take a look at the filled caps, and obviously we need to put in new tubes. Chassis pulled, and just as I suspected, it's got those old Illinois capacitors in it, and these are known to fail. Okay. So here is a pair of 47 microfarads. These here are some 2200s of 50 volt. Over here are two 22 microfarad at 500 volt. And if you look right there at the positive ends, you can see there's goop leaking out of them. There's also another one hidden way down under here. Very hard to see, but you can see the positive lead is also oozing. So now comes the fun part. To get to these caps, you have to completely gut this amp. So all the knobs come off. There's nuts there. There's three boards here, circuit boards, that are in kind of a U shape, and they're connected by these little wire jumpers, which are very fragile. So you got to be extremely cautious taking the board out. And then changing the caps isn't too bad, except for the fact that they've got all this nice old adhesive bonding them to the circuit board. So you have to be extremely careful that you do not damage the board in this process. To replace these caps, I highly recommend these F&T caps that you can buy through the Tube Depot and other sources. You're going to need two 47 microfarad at 500 volt and three of the 22 microfarad at 500 volt. There's a string of little, I think they're number 6 screws that are holding the tube sockets in. There's some standoffs under here. You have to remove all those. And now is a really good time to inspect those tube sockets, because these are notorious for being bad. The ones in this amp look great. So you have to retract the speaker jacks that are on this ribbon cable. Obviously unplug your power supply connections here going to the transformer, and all these connectors. Take a picture before you do it if you have any concerns, but they are all keyed so they can only go in one way, except for the power leads coming off the transformer. Yellows go here, reds go there. Don't reverse that or you have some fireworks. Well, after you get all those connectors off, all the hardware off, etc., you're going to kind of pinch this board you're going to drop the shafts of those pots through, and you're going to pull the tube sockets up out of their holes, and you can retract the board fairly easily. Take a quick close look up at the board. You can see this filter cap here with the goob coming out of its positive lead. Same with these two. But there's no reason to say, well, only this one and this one look bad, so I'm going to change it. You change them all. You're in here, you don't want to get in here again. And by the way, these two caps here, the 2200 microfarad to 50 volt, you don't have to put these axle type leads in. You can put in a standard radio lead cap. Well, I'm going to start with these two 22 microfarad caps over here. And what I'd suggest is you just take a pair of clippers, you cut the leads first. Just remember what side your positive was on, because you don't want to put your caps in backwards. Now, when you're working on this board, maintain this U shape of the circuit boards, the way they're sitting. If you start flexing this, you're going to break these wire jumpers and have a lot more work ahead of you. Well, here's the first two 22 microfarad caps. You can see the goop on the positive side. And right there, a little spider. He obviously was living in the amp for a while. The adhesive in this case came up pretty easily. It wasn't totally under the caps, so this would be a real easy one to pop off those little gobs and solder in the new caps. Alright, the first two caps are in place. Just make sure to bend those leads to where they lay over the same trace that they're being soldered to, so you don't induce any shorts. Don't worry about leaving them a little long, because there's nothing down here for them to hit. Alright, the first two are in place. I will be putting a little drop of adhesive here and on the other side to help with vibration. So now I'm going to go through and change out the other caps using the same process. So this one here is the next one. Same deal. Clip him loose first, and then start working to get it off of that big adhesive pool. So I thought I'd show you this. I just removed that third 22 microfarad cap off the board, and look at here. The lead popped right out of the cap. There's all kinds of corrosion there. This guy was toast. Good thing we're getting these out. So I'm working on the 247 microfarad ones, and they're being a little tough. The adhesive is very old and it's sticking very well. So what I'm going to do is take some alcohol, and I'm going to flood the rear side of these guys and let it work on that adhesive to break it down. Don't worry about the alcohol getting on other components, won't hurt anything. But it will help to loosen that adhesive so I can get them out of there without damaging the circuit board. Alright, well, I'm having a heck of a time getting these to release, so I'm going to do my old trick of taking an X-Acto knife, and I'm going to cut this heat shrink type label off of the cap. Okay. Always goes easier off camera. Anyway, you peel this off like an eggshell, okay? Then you can release the cap. Then all you have to deal with is getting the plastic off the board. It's a little bit easier. Alright, I got them out. Took me about 15 minutes to carve that adhesive out from around them, so now I'm ready to put in the new F&T 47 microfarad caps in their place. So just for a little gee whiz information, the two caps, which are both 47 microfarads, are actually in here tied in parallel to try to give them around 100 microfarads of capacitance. So you could, if you wanted to, replace it with one 100 microfarad cap at 500 volts. Well, that's all the high voltage caps installed. Now I'm going to just pop in some new 2200 microfarad guys for that low voltage power supply, and we'll fire it up. Alright, so I was powering the amp up using a variac, and I had a heart-stopping moment. As I got up around 50 volts, I heard this pow, and there was a spark, and it shot over to the back of the amp. There's a little bit of a mark right here from it. I thought, oh no, what the heck did I overlook? That's the last thing I want after working on this thing for a couple hours, right? And I sure don't want to pull that circuit board back out. So I got the bright idea to unplug the AC Molex connector from the circuit board, looking it over, because I noticed that it was a little discolored, right? Then, as I was moving it, this black wire fell right out of it. So obviously that connection, the crimp, had failed, and this wire was loose, doing a little arky sparky in, causing that issue. So I'm going to extract the pin, repair that, and see if she'll power up. Here we go. Power up the Classic 30. Got the original speaker hooked up to it. I can hear a little bit of white noise through the speaker. That's a good sign, but guess what? There's no hum. I'm going to bring up the volume. Yep. She is alive. So the next thing you do is put a signal through it. Now I still have the old original tubes installed. And I know we did have one sensitive one. You can hear that little rattle. So now I need to change those. And by the way, guys, I've done this similar repair in the past, and some of you had said, hey, why didn't you adjust the bias? That thing's just going to come back. Well, there is no bias adjustment, okay? Take a look at the schematic and you'll see that it is a fixed negative voltage that goes to the grid of the output tubes. So you get what you get. I've installed the match quad of tungsten EL84s. I'd highly recommend that anytime you're changing those output tubes in your Classic 30 that you stick with a matched set. And I've had good luck with the tungstens. Old ones are laying over there. I'm going to let this thing cook for a while and see if it develops any other issues, but I'm pretty confident that it's repaired. So with a little bit of luck and hard work, you can get these old drippy leaky caps out of your amp. Or perhaps there's another option. Hey, come here. That would work too.